The most protected player in NBA history just broke his silence, and the basketball world is absolutely losing its mind. Bronny James, the son of the greatest player of this generation, admitted he sees everything. Every criticism, every hateful comment, every person questioning whether he deserves to be in the league. And in the middle of the most toxic controversy the Lakers have faced in years, with fans divided, former players attacking, and his own coach refusing to play him, LeBron James stood up and made it crystal clear: nobody is touching his son. But this isn't just about a father defending his child. This is about the most explosive nepotism debate in sports history, a Lakers organization in complete chaos, a 21-year-old kid being torn apart by millions, and a 41-year-old legend whose legacy might be defined by this decision. What you're about to hear will shock you, anger you, or make you believe in loyalty like never before, because this story is far from over. Before we get into the absolute madness that's unfolding in Los Angeles, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This situation is changing by the day, and you're going to want every single update. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. Now, let's dive in. Bronny James is averaging 1.6 points per game. He's shooting 31% from the field and 28% from three-point range. He's played in just 18 games this season, most of them in garbage time when the outcome is already decided. His coach, JJ Redick, doesn't trust him. His teammates don't look for him. Fans are calling for him to be cut from the roster. Former NBA players are publicly questioning why he's even in the league. And through it all, Bronny James sits at the end of the bench watching his father play one of the final seasons of his legendary career, knowing that millions of people believe he only has a job because of his last name. This is the reality of being Bronny James in January of 2026, and it's tearing the NBA apart. The controversy started the moment the Lakers drafted him with the 55th overall pick back in 2024. Critics immediately called it nepotism. They said LeBron forced the Lakers to draft his son so they could fulfill his dream of playing together on the same team. They pointed to Bronny's college stats at USC, where he averaged just 4.8 points per game, and argued he wasn't an NBA-level player. They accused the organization of wasting a roster spot on a kid who had no business being there. And from day one, the hate was relentless. But LeBron didn't care. He defended Bronny before he even played a game. Back in July of 2024, during USA basketball practice before the Paris Olympics, LeBron sat down with ESPN and made it clear how he felt about the criticism. He said Bronny doesn't care what people think. He said his son is the complete opposite of him. While LeBron admitted he cared about being liked when he came into the league as a rookie, Bronny, he doesn't give a damn. LeBron literally said Bronny doesn't give an F. He doesn't listen to the noise. He's the coolest kid. And LeBron praised him for having the mental toughness to block out the hate. But here's the thing. That's not true, and everyone who's been paying attention knows it, because just a few months ago, in March of 2025, Bronny gave an interview to The Athletic where he admitted the exact opposite. He said he sees everything. He said people think he's a robot with no feelings or emotions, but that's not reality. He reads the tweets, he hears the criticism, he knows what people are saying about him, and it hurts. He's 21 years old. He's living out his dream of playing professional basketball, and instead of celebrating that accomplishment, he's being torn apart by millions of strangers on the internet who believe he doesn't deserve to be there. And the moment that interview went viral, the NBA world exploded. Fans were divided down the middle. Some people defended Bronny, saying the hate he's getting is disgusting and unnecessary. They argued that he's just a kid trying to live out his dream, and grown adults are attacking him on social media every single day. They said it's unfair to judge him when he's barely getting any playing time. They pointed out that he's playing behind superstars like Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and his own coach, so of course his numbers are going to be bad. They said if people just gave him time to develop, he could prove he belongs. But the other side, they had no sympathy. They said Bronny is the son of LeBron James, one of the richest and most famous athletes on the planet, and if he wants to play in the NBA, he better be ready to handle the criticism. They said this is what comes with being born into privilege. They argued that Bronny wouldn't even be in the league if his last name wasn't James, and that alone makes him fair game for criticism. They called out LeBron for protecting Bronny like he's the only player in the NBA who deserves to be coddled. They said every other athlete in the league gets criticized, called out, and ridiculed, but for some reason, Bronny is supposed to be immune, and they weren't having it. One fan on social media summed it up perfectly. Every other pro athlete that's 1,000 times better can get criticized, called out of their name, ridiculed, but not Bronny. He can't be called mid. God forbid. He's the only athlete with a loving parent. Coddle him, slander everyone else. Another fan said, "You're the son of LeBron James, and you get to play in the NBA mostly because of that. This is what comes with it. Grow up." The backlash was brutal, and it wasn't just random people on Twitter. Former NBA players started weighing in too. Kwame Brown, the former #1 overall pick who played for the Lakers early in his career, went on his YouTube channel and absolutely tore into the situation. He said Bronny is in his second year, not his first, and he's still playing like someone who doesn't belong. He said there are high school athletes who can play basketball at an NBA level better than Bronny. He called the entire situation politics and nepotism at its worst. He said this proves that it doesn't matter how talented you are, if you have the right connections, you can get whatever you want. And the worst part, a lot of people agreed with him. Then came the viral moment that made everything worse. On LeBron's 41st birthday, January 30th, 2026, the Lakers got blown out by the Detroit Pistons, 128-106. It was a disaster. And in the final few minutes of garbage time, Bronny checked into the game. And what happened next became the most talked about clip of the entire season. A Pistons player had the ball at midcourt and noticed that Bronny was completely disengaged. He wasn't paying attention to the play, he wasn't in a defensive stance, he looked like his mind was somewhere else. So the Pistons player took advantage, drove past him, and scored an easy basket. The clip went viral instantly. Fans called it sleeping on defense. They said Bronny looked like a kid who didn't even want to be there. They said he had the energy of a kid playing soccer because his dad signed him up, but he's just staring at birds because he doesn't care. One fan wrote, "Bronny is asleep out there. He doesn't even like basketball." Another said, "LeBron forced him, otherwise he'd be partying with models." The hate reached a boiling point, and through it all, LeBron kept defending him. Just days after the Pistons game, Bronny played for the South Bay Lakers in the G League and dropped a season-high 20 points. During the game, he threw down a monster tomahawk dunk that caught a defender and sent the internet into a frenzy. LeBron's reaction? 5 words. "The air different up there." He posted it on social media, hyping up his son like he always does. He's been Bronny's biggest cheerleader from day one, constantly praising his highlights, defending him from critics, and making it clear that he believes in his son no matter what anyone else says. But here's the problem. LeBron's support isn't helping. If anything, it's making things worse. Because the more LeBron defends Bronny, the more people accuse him of using his power and influence to protect a player who doesn't deserve it. The more LeBron praises Bronny's highlights, the more people point out his failures. The more LeBron stands by his son, the more people question whether Bronny is in the NBA because of talent or because of nepotism. And now, with LeBron set to hit free agency in the summer of 2026, the entire situation is about to explode. Reports are surfacing that LeBron is only considering 2 teams when he becomes a free agent, the Lakers or the Cavaliers. If he stays with the Lakers, Bronny stays too. But if LeBron leaves, nobody knows what happens to Bronny. NBA insiders are already saying it's hard to see the Lakers keeping Bronny on the roster if his father is gone. His contract for the 2026-27 season is only 50% guaranteed, which means the Lakers could waive him and save money. And if that happens, Bronny's NBA career might be over before it even began. But LeBron isn't going to let that happen. He's made it clear that Bronny is part of his decision-making process. If he leaves the Lakers, there's a very real possibility that he takes Bronny with him. The Lakers could trade Bronny to whatever team LeBron signs with, allowing them to continue playing together. Or they could waive Bronny, and he could sign with LeBron's new team as a free agent. Either way, LeBron is standing by his son. He's not abandoning him, he's not letting the critics win, and he's not backing down. And that's what makes this story so polarizing, because on one hand, you have people who believe LeBron is doing what any father would do. He's protecting his son, he's supporting his son's dream, he's using his platform and his power to give Bronny a chance that most kids will never get. And there's something beautiful about that. A father and son playing on the same NBA team is historic. It's unprecedented. It's a moment that will be remembered forever. And LeBron has every right to be proud of that. Reports are surfacing that LeBron is only considering two teams when he becomes a free agent, the Lakers or the Cleveland Cavaliers. If he stays with the Lakers, Bronny stays too. But if LeBron leaves, nobody knows what happens to Bronny. NBA insiders are already saying it's hard to see the Lakers keeping Bronny on the roster if his father is gone. His contract for the 2026-27 season is only 50% guaranteed, which means the Lakers could waive him and save money. And if that happens, Bronny's NBA career might be over before it even began. But LeBron isn't going to let that happen. He's made it clear that Bronny is part of his decision-making process. If he leaves the Lakers, there's a very real possibility that he takes Bronny with him. The Lakers could trade Bronny to whatever team LeBron signs with, allowing them to continue playing together. Or they could waive Bronny and he could sign with LeBron's new team as a free agent. Either way, LeBron is standing by his son. He's not abandoning him, he's not letting the critics win, and he's not backing down. And that's what makes this story so polarizing, because on one hand, you have people who believe LeBron is doing what any father would do. He's protecting his son, he's supporting his son's dream, he's using his platform and his power to give Bronny a chance that most kids will never get. And there's something beautiful about that. A father and son playing on the same NBA team is historic. It's unprecedented. It's a moment that will be remembered forever, and LeBron has every right to be proud of that. But on the other hand, you have people who believe LeBron is abusing his power. They argue that by forcing the Lakers to draft Bronny, LeBron took a roster spot away from a more deserving player. They point out that there are kids who grinded their entire lives to make it to the NBA, only to get passed over because they didn't have the right last name. They say LeBron is setting a dangerous precedent where nepotism becomes acceptable in professional sports, and they believe that by constantly defending Bronny, LeBron is making it harder for his son to grow and develop on his own. And the truth is, both sides have a point, because yes, LeBron is doing what any father would do, but yes, the Lakers also drafted Bronny knowing that it would keep LeBron happy. And yes, Bronny is struggling, but yes, he's also barely getting any playing time to prove himself. And yes, the criticism is brutal. But yes, that's also what comes with being the son of one of the greatest players in NBA history. There's no easy answer, there's no clear right or wrong. It's complicated, it's messy, and it's only getting worse. Because now, the Lakers are in complete chaos. JJ Redick, the head coach, doesn't trust Bronny. He's made that abundantly clear. Even when the Lakers have been dealing with injuries and desperately need another ball handler, Redick still refuses to play Bronny. In one game against the Phoenix Suns, the Lakers started Nick Smith Jr., a two-way player who was cut by the Charlotte Hornets, over Bronny. That's how little confidence Redick has in him. And it's not just Redick. The entire coaching staff doesn't believe Bronny is ready. They see him in practice, they see him in games, and they don't think he's an NBA-level player yet. But LeBron sees something different. He sees a kid who had a cardiac arrest less than 2 years ago. He sees a kid who missed a huge chunk of his college season recovering from heart surgery. He sees a kid who's behind schedule because of circumstances out of his control. He sees a kid who has the physical tools, the basketball IQ, and the work ethic to one day be a solid NBA player. And most importantly, he sees his son, and he's not going to give up on him. And that's what makes this entire situation so emotional, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about basketball. It's about family. It's about a father who wants to see his son succeed. It's about a kid who's trying to live up to impossible expectations. It's about a legacy that's being built and a legacy that's being questioned. And it's about millions of fans who are watching this unfold in real time, trying to figure out where they stand. Some fans are furious. They believe the Lakers are wasting everyone's time by keeping Bronny on the roster. They think the organization should cut him, move on, and focus on building a championship-contending team around LeBron and Luka Doncic before it's too late. They don't want to see the Lakers sacrifice their championship window just to make LeBron happy.
And then there are the fans who are just confused. They don't know what to think. They see the nepotism, they see the struggles, they see the hate, but they also see LeBron's unwavering support. They see Bronny's flashes of potential in the G League. They see a kid who's trying his best in an impossible situation, and they're waiting to see how this all plays out before they make a final judgment. But one thing is certain, this story is far from over, because LeBron James is about to make the biggest decision of his career. Does he stay with the Lakers and continue fighting for a championship with Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, or does he leave and take Bronny with him, chasing one final chapter in his legendary career? And what happens to Bronny if LeBron retires? Does he stick around in the NBA and prove he belongs, or does his career end the moment his father hangs up his jersey? These are the questions that will define the next 6 months of NBA basketball. And every single day, new information is coming out. New reports, new controversies, new moments that fuel the debate. LeBron is standing with Bronny, the Lakers are in chaos, fans are furious, and the entire basketball world is watching to see how this unfolds. Because love him or hate him, Bronny James is living out his dream. He's playing professional basketball at the highest level. He's sharing the court with his father, making history as the first father-son duo to ever play in the NBA together. And whether you think he deserves to be there or not, that's something nobody can take away from him. But the pressure is mounting, the criticism is getting louder, and soon, very soon, the Lakers are going to have to make a decision. Do they keep Bronny on the roster and hope he develops into something special, or do they cut their losses and move on? So, what happens next? That's the billion-dollar question. LeBron James is standing with Bronny, no matter what. The Lakers are in complete chaos, trying to figure out their future. Fans are divided down the middle, some supporting Bronny and others calling for him to be cut. Former players are attacking the situation, coaches don't trust him. And through it all, Bronny James keeps showing up, keeps working, and keeps fighting to prove he belongs. Whether he succeeds or not remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, this is the most polarizing story in the NBA right now, and it's only getting started. The next 6 months are going to be wild. Stay locked in, because this is just the beginning. This video is based on publicly available reports, insider sources, and ongoing developments surrounding LeBron James, Bronny James, and the Los Angeles Lakers. All information is accurate to the best of our knowledge as of January 6, 2026. Situations are fluid and subject to change. Stay tuned for more updates as this story continues to develop. But other fans are inspired. They see a father who's using his platform to give his son an opportunity. They see a kid who's working his ass off to prove he belongs, even though the entire world is doubting him. They see a story about perseverance, about family, about loyalty, and they're rooting for Bronny to succeed, not because of his stats, but because they believe everyone deserves a fair chance.